Is the Bitcoin bull run over, or are we just getting started and could potentially continue to all-time highs? Today's video is going to focus on three different models to potentially calculate exactly when the top and when the bottoms for this Bitcoin cycle are expected to occur. So we have three lines on the chart. The blue lines, these first two blue lines represent the two halvings I've added. I didn't also add the halving from 2016 that happened in around July. Then these green lines represent the highs of the bull market. We've got 1, 2, 3, and potentially 4 incoming now. Then we also have the bottoms of the bear trend. So we have this 1, 2, 3, and then we will project into the future. First thing I want to do is begin and calculate from the halving. So when the halving happens, when does the top potentially come in? So from here, we're seeing around 87 bars from once we get that halving event to the overall top. This was back in 2021. So let's do that same calculation or just projection. Look at where the halving is. Let's go into the future now. So we're actually currently at 80 bars. So with the last halving, actually reached out to around 87 bars, which would put a high or a top in the market at around December of 2025. But we could go back and actually add in the halving of 2017, because on 2016, the halving actually happened on the 9th of July, 2016. So basically exactly here. Let's also do a price projection or extension here with the measurement tool and see, okay, it was actually 74 bars into the future. We had 74 bars in 2016, 87 bars in 2021. So it actually does look like it's slightly extending by around 10 or 15 bars. So if we were to say, where was the current high? If the current high lines up perfectly, like we got this high around the 6th of October, that would actually be 76 bars. So that sort of lines up near perfect with the 2017. 2021 did actually extend a little bit more. So we can actually just keep that to our understanding. Okay, 76 bars, 87 bars, 74 bars. We could, again, extend it out to 87 bars like this other prior high. But let's actually do some other projections and calculations to see where this could line up, because this could change depending. Now we'll project from the low all the way to the highs and see how many months that was. So let's actually save that calculation. We'll do that at the end once we have these two final numbers. Next, I want to measure from the beginning or the end of the bull trend or the end of the bear trend to the end of the bull trend. So all the way from the bottoms to the top. So let's use the same measuring tool to go from these bottoms of the Bitcoin all the way to the top. So here we're having 152 bars to the upside. So from bottom to top, then let's do the same calculation right here from bottom all the way to top. There we go. So 152 bars, 153 bars, so near perfect. Let's do the same thing. So let's price push from the red low all the way. Let's go the same. So that would actually line up. Look at that. We did 152 bars into the future, and we did actually scroll into the price. So where would that line up with? 152 bars. That is near perfect. Look, if we were to put it exactly on when this October 6th high, that would last 150 bars. So when we compare that, 153, 152, and 150. So a lot of people right now are potentially calling for Bitcoin that, no, the cycle's not over. We're going to have a continuation of this 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycle isn't real anymore. It's now become an 8-year cycle, a 12-year cycle. This is why I want to do these calculations here. We're seeing from the beginning of the bull trend to the end of the bull trend is lasting roughly 150 weeks. That's happened once. It's happened twice. And if the October 6th high was to remain the all-time high for this run, it's happened a third time. It's repeated 3 times over and over. So let me just get rid of these. We already know roughly 150 weeks from bottom to top. And that's near perfectly done right here. So let's now calculate from top all the way to the next top. So we're going to start here back in 2013. We're now going to extend it all the way into 2017. So how many weeks from bull trend ending all the way to bull trend ending? Right now we have 211 bars from 2013 to 2017. Then from 2017 all the way to the high in 2021, look at that. We have 205 bars. Let's actually redo that again. So we get right in there and extend it across. Look at that. So 204 bars. So 211, 204. And then now let me extend that again. So let me roughly go 205 to 210 bars from this high. Extend it again. Just want to see that calculation even for myself. And look at that. If we leave it on 205, let's actually zoom in right here on price so we can see it even easier. Let's put it exactly on this high and say, let's just say for example's sake that the October 6th high is the high. Look at that, 204 bars. So again, we've got first 211, 204, and now 204. So a lot of people potentially calling that the bull run isn't over. We're actually supporting off the 50 weekly simple moving average. Let me actually add that onto the chart right here. This is something that a lot of people are talking about. Add this to the chart. Double click and change. I believe it was the 50 or 55. We'll just begin with 50. Here we go. We'll just use 50. Actually change it to 55. Does that measure a little bit better? I believe it was the 55. Let's actually change it over to 50. 50 just makes a lot more sense. Okay. So a lot of people talking back here. We had the bounce, and then we had that massive continuation. We had the bounce when we come into the tariffs and everything. And right here, we're now bouncing off the 50 simple moving average. Everyone's been calling this on Twitter. A lot of people have been calling this on YouTube and saying, okay, this is going to be the next low. We're now going to continue well into the $150,000 region. Well, I've just sort of showed you that if the October 6th high does end up being that all-time high in the market, it nearly perfectly lines up with the past two bull runs from low to top, from top to top. And even, let's go back, as I mentioned, I want to measure using from the halving all the way across, because the first one, if you remember, was 74 months, 74 weeks. The next was around 84 weeks. Now let's use that measuring tool again. So let's measure from when the halving is, and let's just say the October 6th is going to be the high. Let's see, does this line up with anything previous? And look at that, 76 bars. So when we're measuring from halving to halving, so when we're measuring from halving to top, 2013, 2017, 2021, and now 2025 is showing the exact same signals. From the halving date, roughly 75 to 85 weeks until we get an all-time high. From low to high, roughly 150 weeks, as we saw 152, and then 150. And then from high to high, roughly 200 weeks. This is the signal that's really telling me the Bitcoin bull run is now over. I need to be looking to sell out of my spot positions and potentially looking for quick short-term trades to the downside. Now I know this isn't what people want to hear. We haven't had that final altcoin run where we've seen coins literally 20, 30xing near the end of the bull run. One of the only coins we're seeing right now is Zcash actually going absolutely parabolic. But the reason that I believe that is institutions are buying Bitcoin. They're not buying altcoins. And plus, even with this last meme coin season, there's so many altcoins now. There's so many meme coins that there's not enough volume. There's not enough money in the market to spread out to these literal millions and millions of coins that have now launched. It's pretty clear to me that the bear trend is going to start, and it's going to start quickly. I do believe we're going to have a quick little bounce off this 50 EMA. We will come back up, but this will be a lower high before we get some huge major news to the downside. So I'm very much looking to scale out of positions and potentially scale into new short-term short positions. It's really, really clear to me, especially when we're using these three separate models to be able to analyze what price has done in the past and how it will now rhyme in the future. Really hope you've enjoyed today's video. Leave a comment where you believe, if you believe the price will go to a new all-time high, or am I right? And this is the start of the bear trend. Smash the like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.